Well, first of all, good afternoon, and just thank you for the work you do, everyone, with the International Raoul Wallenberg Foundation. I especially want to thank President Ornekian for your leadership here. I really appreciate and know that your involvement here makes a difference in spreading awareness about the legacy of Raoul Wallenberg. At a time when it was very easy to stay quiet or really to pay lip service to those who are being persecuted around them, this was a man of action who stood up against good over evil. And he gave his life. You think about it, he gave his life to save over 100,000 people, 100,000 Jewish people from the terrors of Hitler and the Nazi regime at that time. And his calling to serve that greater good is a lesson to all of us. It's a lesson to all of us. And it didn't.
Wallenberg serves as a reminder for our moral responsibility, our obligation to respond to the forces that challenge democracy and human rights, our obligation to prevent genocide, because sadly, history has repeated itself.
And we should not forget that there was a fairly long period when I wouldn't say that Raoul Wallenberg and his fate was entirely forgotten. That would be to exaggerate slightly. But it was neglected. It was not at the center of attention, certainly not in Sweden, and neither was it in the United States. But Nina, of course, for reasons not only of family, but for all sorts of reasons, she never gave up.
This is a painting that was painted by the same person who was a spy who caught Adolf Eichmann. He was a spy and he was a painter. And he gave it as a present to Baruch Tenenbaum in Argentina after he caught Eichmann. And he painted this picture. If you can see, this is the map of Hungary, and this is the face of Raoul Wallenberg.
Thank you so much.
And would you please come up, Baruch? And this is a present from Eduardo and from Baruch to you.
So much. It's beautiful. Thank you. Thank you, Peter, for not only the beautiful introduction, but thank you for the gift. Thank you for each of you for being so generous and thoughtful in your recognition. I'd like to spend my few moments here today just thanking people and expressing my gratitude for the people in this room for being the advocates and the voices that demanded action in Washington. I also want to thank all the gentlemen who just took a picture with me. Eduardo, chairman of Raoul Wallenberg Foundation, has been an inspiration to all of us in his own moral courage to continue this effort. Baruch, founder of the International Raoul Wallenberg Foundation, you are our voice internationally around the world to make sure no one ever forgets.
First of all, I would like to thank Ezra Philander, Baruch, Eduardo, for all you have done faithfully for all these years. Thank you so much. So now it is time that everybody stops thinking about what Raoul can do for him, but ask himself what he can do for Raoul.
It's important. This is a big day, a very big day. And it's not just a big day for folks who happen to be of the Jewish faith. It's a big day for all of us. It's a big day for humanity. And that's why I think it is tremendously important for all of us to be here. And I bring huge congratulations to Mr. Baruch Tenenbaum, the founder of the International Raoul Wallenberg Foundation, and Mr. Eduardo Onikian, the president and chairman of the International Raoul Wallenberg Foundation, and of course, Raoul Wallenberg's half-brother, Mr. Guy van Dardel, who devoted much of his life to trying to find answers to what happened to his brother. The gold medal ceremony taking place this afternoon would not be possible at all without your focus, your dedication, and making sure that's making this happening with my good friend and the Freelander Group. I thank you for bringing this to all of our attention.
I commend the International Raoul Wallenberg Foundation for nearly 50 years of service in keeping the legacy of Mr. Wallenberg alive. And in particular, I thank Eduardo Orekian for his tireless commitment to Raoul and the Wallenberg family. And it is an honor for me to be here with each of you to say thank you for standing up, commending his service. It is an honor to join my colleague Dick Blumenthal, to join the members of Congress, to join each of you, and it is a particular honor that I have been asked to present an award to Eduardo Onekian for his service to the foundation.
Before you leave, yes. Okay. As you may know, my origins are traced to Armenia, where my parents were born. It is from there that they emigrated to Argentina in the early 20th century. As an heir of the Armenian culture, its tradition and legacy, I feel an absolute identification with both the history and the future of the Jewish people. Apart from a great suffering, both the Armenian genocide and the Holocaust served to create a common culture and a collective conscience focused on the need to educate so that these events are never again repeated. As a chairman of the Wallenberg Foundation, I have been blessed with the channel to communicate our message of solidarity through education and public awareness programs. We must never forget the past, but at the same time, we must look to the future responsibly with an eye on our future generation. Peace is the result of proactive justice and solidarity. It does not simply materialize, it is built and defended. Raoul Wallenberg was a man of privilege and social stature who refused to allow himself to be contained by his circumstances. Instead, he was determined to go beyond what was expected of him. He was determined to make a difference. Let me finish with the remark shared by President Ronald Reagan at the 40th anniversary of Wallenberg's disappearance. In the depth of the horror of the World War II, Raoul Wallenberg was a shining light of inspiration, upholding the honor of the human race. In the name of the International Raoul Wallenberg Foundation, please allow me to state that we are truly pleased to see this great man presented with the Congressional Gold Medal. I extend a warm thank you to the men and the women of both the United States Senate and the House of Representatives, and I look forward to see every one of you this afternoon in the ceremony. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome to the United States Capitol. We're honored to be joined today by members of the Diplomatic Corps, former ambassadors, representatives from the State Department and the U.S. Mint, and leaders of the Jewish community throughout our country. In 1944, Raoul Wallenberg did something many of us have had to do. Told his mother he wouldn't be home for Christmas or home for the holidays. "I must send you my best wishes for Christmas by this means," he wrote. "I hope the peace so longed for is not so far away." By the time he sent that letter, Wallenberg had saved more lives than we can count. In America's history, only 7 individuals have been made honorary citizens. The first was Churchill. Wallenberg was the second. To this honor, we added the Congressional Gold Medal, a tradition that began with George Washington himself. This medal is a tribute to a citizen of the world, but it is really more than that. It's a commitment to honor his family and his memory, and to tell his story, and to always seek the truth. This is not too much to do. In fact, it's the least we can do. For his deeds may be beyond our capacity, but his lessons are not.
In the midst of the black storm, so chokingly dense, came a breeze of cleanest air to a spark of brightest sense. A flame gave light so that lies would stand bare, and no one could crawl behind words like there was some trapped and ensnared. This solitary man amongst us, now with glory to his name, became our gleam of hope in a world of guilt and shame. Like a cliff in churning water, he stood firm to lead the way, so that no one could astray or from truth go far away. Salvaging the deserted, he took his last stand. No shield upon his arm, no sword in his hand, but his words bit like steel on the slayer's awkward lies, and with cunning tricks he snatched the victims out of their bonding ties. This solitary man amongst us, now with glory to his name, became our gleam of hope in a world of guilt and shame. Like a cliff in churning water, he stood firm to lead the way, so that no one could deny or from truth go far astray. When the light poured in freedom's sacred name, by a twin-headed dragon, he was stolen without shame.
The Talmud teaches, and I quote, "Whoever destroys a single soul, it is considered as if he destroyed an entire world. And whoever saves a life, it is considered as if he saved an entire world." Raoul Wallenberg saved 100,000 worlds, and the descendants of those whose lives were spared because of his courage and conviction number like the stars. Today's gold medal ceremony is not only a moment to reflect on his heroism and his role as one of the most consequential, righteous among the nations. It is also an opportunity for all of us here to remember the lesson he taught us all through his example. A lesson as applicable today as it was amid the horrors of the Second World War and the Holocaust. And that lesson is for us never to be indifferent, never to be a bystander in the face of injustice, never to say someone else will do the right thing so I don't have to.
Between Raoul Wallenberg's youthful dreams of a pleasant life in America and his eventual disappearance, he would fully and completely embrace the role that fate had handed him. And through countless acts of courage and daring, he would not only earn a place in our hearts, he would earn a permanent place in the pantheon of history's great men. He would become a hero for our times.
As we look around this wonderful rotunda, we're gathered quite literally in the Hall of Heroes. Surrounding us, all around us, are the statues and busts of great men and great women, whose courage we praise. The artwork adorns these walls, beautiful frieze, all remind us of their contributions. But I'm confident, even in the company of such iconic figures, the heroism of a young Swedish diplomat, Raoul Wallenberg, is remarkable. And unlike some of the heroes enshrined here in the rotunda, Wallenberg's heroism was not facilitated with weapons or physical power. Instead, Raoul Wallenberg's heroism was born of his audacity and his courage, not his physical courage, but his moral courage.
Ladies and gentlemen, the presentation of the Congressional Gold Medal. Go now. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Nina Lagergren.
This is a magic moment for me to be here in this beautiful coupole and with you all, friends and daughters and parents, and Carl Bildt, and everybody who has shown so much love to Raoul, as one can imagine that he has played a role which is immense. And he has saved hundreds of thousands of men and women and children. And how many are there now? We honor him for what he did, but we must honor him for what we can do for him after all these years of detention and imprisonment in Soviet Union. There must be a way for all of us to come together and get the truth. That's what we want. It can't be difficult. You must all agree that it's possible and all join, everybody, to do something. I mean, you are also important in this coupole, and you have so much might behind you. Please, we have lived with this for so many years and know what Raoul has suffered, but at least we could get the truth. Thank you very much.